Team 5 has made it infinitely easier in 2023 to build up your collection with catch-up packs and all the newer ways to get additional packs in game, but it does not mean that you know exactly which cards are best, especially without a full collection. So what I decided to do is go through 10 cards, legendary cards, for you to potentially add to your decks to build them up and make them potentially stronger. These are in no particular order. I just picked my favorite, what I thought was the most popular, what I thought is the most powerful right now. Some of these are in the core collection. Some of these you won't have to spend any more dust that you need to. If you have a 30 card deck, if you have a 40 card deck that you're looking to tech something in, here's some options that'll help you make your deck stronger. First up, Neptulon the Tide Hunter. It's a 10 mana elemental, 7/7 elemental. It's a colossal, which means that there's going to be +2 pieces that expand right next to it. So the colossal +2 is Rush and Wind Fury. So whenever Neptulon attacks, if you control any hands, they attack instead. So that colossal +2 means there's going to be 2 little hands on the side that come on, and they're 4/2, and they are immune until they get attacked. So when they're attacking, they're immune. So there's 16 damage from this minion. When you go to attack with this one, both of those hands will attack that whatever you're fighting first. This turns your opponent completely around. The opponent needs to get rid of this minion immediately. Okay, and even if they kill the hands, because the hands are not that great, not that strong, it's easy to kill those. Then they got a 7/7 on board. Plus, this also synergizes with any elemental decks that you're building or working on. This is a very strong card. It's something that you should be looking into if you already have it. Maybe you crafted this card, but this is a very good card for you to play around with. And with the elementals that are in the expansions now and in the core set now, you can play an elemental deck that's pretty strong. Next up, 4 mana Ignis the Eternal Flame. It's a 2/4, and that doesn't matter. The battle cry is if you forge the card this game, craft a custom weapon. We've talked about this several times. If you watch any of my videos, Ignis is on fire right now. And I don't mean just the card art. It's being played a lot. There's a lot of really good forge cards. There's a lot of class cards that are forged. There's a lot of neutral cards that are forged. So you probably have maybe 1 or 2, especially if you've opened up any of the newest cards recently. You should have a forged card in your deck. What this does is it creates a customized weapon that you customize right then and there. You either have a 1 mana weapon, a 5 mana weapon, or a 10 mana weapon, and they are strong. They are powerful. This is something that is going to potentially swing the game your way if you play this and able to forge the right weapon. So if you're looking for something to put in, maybe you crafted this one, definitely consider throwing this in your deck, especially if you have forged cards. Next up, ETC Band Manager. It's a 4 mana 4/4. While building your deck, assemble a band of 3 cards. Battlecry, discover one of those. This is a strong card that was given as part of the new expansion launch when Festival of Legends came out. It's a great card. Especially when you're playing right now. There's a lot of Highlander cards coming up, but you really want a couple of those duplicate cards. Highlander means you can only pick one, so this one right here frees up that problem. So perfect example for any type of Highlander Hunter deck. I've been putting this in and throwing in there the extra Hound Hunter, the extra Hollow Hound, excuse me. Another way of hitting AoE spells. I don't remember the card right now. I apologize. It just gives you, Rustrot Viper as well to kill that Ignis weapon that most likely your opponent's playing as well. It's a very good card. It's very cheap. It's not going to cost you anything. I believe if you've opened a couple of packs of Festival of Legends, you should have this for free. It's a good card for you to be using to just add additional tech to your deck. Next up, 10 mana, 10/10, Sire Denathrius, Lifesteal, Battlecry. Deal 5 damage amongst enemies. with the lifesteal, remember that, and then endlessly infuse twice to deal one more. They nerfed this right around when it came out. It used to be just infuse one and then you deal one more. It used to be busted. It's still very strong. I normally, depending on what my opponent is, I would normally keep this in the mulligan, only because if I have a lot of minions, I'll be able to do a lot of damage to this, number one, and then number two, I'll be able to heal myself back up in case I need it. So if this is in your in your cards right now, and you're looking for one thing to throw in, you have a lot of minions, put that in. If you only play spells or it's a spell heavy deck, I wouldn't add this one in. Next up, 9 mana the Sunwell. Fill your hand with random spells, costs 1 less for each other card in your hand. I like using this one in case I do not have a lot of spells, or I know I might need something at the end of the day or at the end of the game, I will throw this in, and there's probably a couple of options that you can grab from those spells. Some of these spells are great. The caveat is some of these spells will be just completely useless for you because it is random, but if you're looking to throw something in and none of the other legendaries work, throw this one in to give it a shot. It's good. Plus, it's a holy spell, so if you're playing Paladin, it synergizes with some of the Paladin archetype that's going around. Next up, 7 mana, Prison of Yogg-Saron, location. It's got 3 charges, and it's choose a character, cast 4 random spells, targeting it if possible. This is very random. This is very RNG. When I first saw it, I was like, I'm not going to play it at all. It's a, RNG on whether or not it's going to do good for you or bad for you, whether it's hitting the opponent or hitting the opponent's face or hitting your face or what have you. It's random, so you're not expecting a lot from this, but it does win games. I've seen it many, many times where this is able to win the game or swing the game in your favor. It just depends on what you want to do. It's a little fun too if you play Hearthstone, for the RNG aspect of the game, which some of us do. I do. I love how some of these games are completely random, completely swingy. You think you've got the game on lock and you just don't have it. It swings in and out of your favor. This is a card to be playing around with. Next up, 3 mana 2/2 Naga Battlecry. Zola the Gorgon with Battlecry. Choose a friendly minion, add a golden copy of it to your hand. Don't worry about the golden. It's fine. We're not worried about the golden. We're worried about the friendly minion that you can create an additional copy of. And it's endless. It's friendly minion. So if it's on your board, it's fair game. You can do a lot of nutty stuff with this. The possibilities here are endless. I would consider, if you need one card to put in, this would be a strong contender of which one card. Especially if you have a lot of payoff minions in your deck, I would be using this completely. Next up, 9 mana Alexstrasza the Lifebinder, and it's an 8/8 dragon. Dragons are pretty popular right now, so this would be something you definitely want to put in if you have a dragon deck. The cool thing about it is choose a character. If it's friendly, you restore 8 health, if it's an enemy, deal 8 damage. So you're either killing something, you're hitting your opponent for 8 damage, you're healing yourself or a minion on your side for 8 health. So it's a good card, and like I said, especially with there being dragons right now, there's a bunch of dragon synergy, dragon druid. If you don't have a lot of cards and you're looking to tech in a dragon, throw this one in. You'd be silly not to. Next up, Reno, Lone Ranger. 8 mana with 5 armor. It's a hero, and the battle cry is, if your deck has no duplicates, empty the enemy board and limit it to 1 minion for a turn. This changes your hero power. Your hero power does 2 damage, and then it does something else. It could give you armor, it could give you a spell, it could, do other things, draw a card. But the main thing is whatever is on your opponent's board, including the locations, everything, including portals, everything is just wiped off. And the cool thing is it's empty the enemy board. It's not creating those death rattles. So if your opponent has a full board of death rattles, they're gone. They're gone, and they do not activate the death rattle. And then the idea is the only thing that they're able to throw on is 1 minion next turn. This is something that you have to remember, that the deck needs to have no duplicates in order for it to work. So if you have a couple of duplicates in your deck, I would suggest trying to remove those and throw an ETC if you have that. But this needs to make sure that the deck has no duplicates before it can pop off. So please remember that. And the last, but certainly not least, because we've seen this forever, it's been top of the charts. I've talked about it time after time after time after time. Astalor Bloodsworn. 2 mana, 2/2. Battlecry. Add the Protector to your hand. Mana Thirst 5, deal 2 damage. I don't want to go through too much of this. It's in a lot of decks. It has a very good win rate. Its popularity is through the roof, and it has been for months and months and months and months since it came out, and it probably will be until it leaves standard. So if you're going to craft one card, and if you're going to craft one legendary card, make it Astalor. It's an amazing card. It's got a lot of utility. You know, the first one that comes out does 2 damage. Next one that comes out, it gives you 5 armor. The one that comes out after that, it attacks your enemy's side of the board or their face for a whole bunch of damage. So this one's a no-brainer. Like I said, if you're going to craft one card and it's a legendary, craft Astalor. It's pretty fun. And that's it for these cards. I also have a rares video. I also have an epics video that I'm doing. This is just some opportunities for you to be able to add a tech card in here or there. If you do not have these cards, I would say your mileage may vary on crafting some of these, but remember, some of these are also free because they're in the core set. That's it. Please tell me what you think of the video. Please tell me what else you want to see, and I will see you in the next video.